Miss Tina Winter. What up, Tina? Yeah.
You. I love your intros. It always makes me feel really good. All right. Good morning, everyone, on this Saturday. I guess it is actually noon. Well, no,
Yeah,
no, we still are in the morning, mid morning, not quite
that's right. There you go. There you go.
yet. So, thanks for joining us, anyone who pops on. And as always, I'm going to let you know what we're going to talk about today. So, there was some news that came out that a lot of people's favorite defensive player from the Texans, Mr. J.J. Watts, is going
Mm.
to be joining a football show, and he's going to be an analysis. Isn't it? No, he is an analysis. He's going to become a commentator.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see which team he's put on. That'll show you what the network really thinks about him, whether
Very
he's on
true.
the A, B, C, or D team.
Yeah.
And then a head coach got an extension this week out of the
Mhm.
Ravens. So we'll be talking about John Harbaugh and what that will do for that organization. And Sean and I are going to talk about what we consider to be the biggest draft needs on our team. And,
Mhm.
but we're going to start it all out with, and this is always true every year, every season in the NFL. It wouldn't be the NFL if there wasn't some kind of QB merry-go-round carousel going
Yeah.
on. And
Yeah.
it looks like the carousel's settling down a little bit. But this week, Mr. Kirk Cousins kind of threw a little bit of a wrench into that.
Mhm.
And Mr. Ayahuasca himself
Of
still
course.
is
Of course.
being himself. Right, Sean?
Absolutely. Let's get right into it. Oh God, it wouldn't be an off season. It wouldn't be right up around the draft time if we weren't talking about Aaron Rodgers and where he is. Listen, he went and met with the Steelers. We had reported on that a week ago that that's where we thought he was potentially going. Well, actually, Tina, that was one of the only teams that we thought was willing to maybe take on his mess. He met with them for 6 hours, left without a contract, and now there seems to be reports that they're the Steelers really like a quarterback, the quarterback out of Alabama, Jalen Milrow, who more closely resembles the Justin Fields and the Russell Wilson, a little more mobile, definitely young, fresh legs, can pass if needed. I mean, it's not looking the best for Aaron Rodgers, Tina. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I don't know how he didn't leave with a contract signed because I'm sorry, Aaron. No one is looking for you right now. No one
Right.
wants to deal with your drama. No one wants to deal with which is essentially you're still recovering from your Achilles tendon
Hmm.
surgery, and
Yeah.
honestly, you didn't play well last year, so you don't have a lot of options open. And I don't know. And then Mr. Kirk comes in and probably is taking away one of your only other options you had.
Yeah.
But I think even the Cleveland Browns were like, look, we got our own drama going on over here and paying for this. We can't add
No.
like this in there,
No.
which I
Because
think
they're still
probably,
paying.
yeah, they're still paying. But I think, and that's another thing that I think is playing into this too, is we know Aaron wants top dollar.
Mm,
I think some teams might have been willing to take him if he was willing to drop his price.
discount.
And I don't think he's
Exactly.
willing to drop his price. So
No. And
that's
and I think that's the problem, Tina. I think in Aaron's mind, he is still the four-time MVP. I've gone to five NFC championships. I'm a Super Bowl winner and MVP. All that. He's still that. We're not we're not
mm,
taking away from what he used to be. But
no.
over the last couple years, over the last three, and I know 2 years ago he didn't play because of the Achilles. He ain't the same guy. He has not played like the same guy. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I might just take my chances with the college draft picks. I think at least you got the youth on your side. I mean, at this point, Aaron is He's not even a culture guy. He's not even somebody that I want to bring in my locker room because I know where the attention's going to go. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think it's time.
I think he's going to be gasoline on top of Pickens and Metcalf.
And that's
That
the other.
like
Yeah.
he's never been a real. I'm just gonna go. I've never been a huge fan of Aaron Rodgers, and outside his first couple of years in the league, I don't think he's as clutch as everybody thinks he is.
No.
But in the
Right now.
Packers world, you either love him or you hate him. There's no in between when it comes to Aaron Rodgers. His stuff that he has done in the last 5 years and all of this is driven because he wasn't drafted when he thought he should get drafted. Let's just
Right.
be honest. He thinks he should he wants to be Tom Brady, but he wasn't Tom Brady.
Mm-mm.
Simple and all of that. I mean, I'm pretty sure he'll get into the Hall of Fame,
Oh,
but
yeah. Oh, without doubt. Yeah.
but I don't know that he deserves to be there.
Oh, ooh.
I'll die on that hill.
Oh, woo! That is definitely a topic that we will definitely dive into. But look, yeah,
I
we'll see
mean,
what happens.
him and the Cowboys all the time. And how many times did either one of them go to the Super Bowl?
Bang bang. Shots fired. Shots
For
fired.
those of
I
you
could
that don't know, I am an ex-Bears fan. Most of my family are Bears fan. I became a Bronco fan. It's
an X.
a long story that I
Ex-Bears
won't get
fan.
into on this show,
Right.
but
X fan.
so
All right.
I don't have a problem going bang bang on Packers.
Yeah. Get him out. I
And
can
I'm
dig it.
sure
I can.
you cut this clip and show it to Nick, and Nick's gonna be like, "Yeah."
Yep. Right. Right. Oh man, yo, let's go ahead and move on. Please stop talking about Aaron Rodgers. Dear God, how do we continue to talk
We
about
spent
him?
enough time on that man.
Exactly. And I'm gonna bring up the guy you were talking about, Kirk Cousins. Recently he was spotted at a Chipotle in Cleveland, and now there's speculation that maybe he's gonna go to the Browns. Okay, first and foremost, what? Is this really a story right now, Tina?
This is the conversation that you and I had when we were talking about Matthew Stafford and we were going back and forth and everything, in which we both of us ultimately came to the thing like somebody had to write a story. They had a deadline in
Yep.
Cleveland or in Atlanta, wherever this broke. I don't care to know where it broke or who broke it, et cetera, or whether it was Adam or Ian on X, Twitter, whatever, Blue Sky, whatever you follow. He was literally seen in a restaurant.
Yeah.
Like he could have been driving through to go to Michigan or wherever he's from. Like it's stupid. But
it makes sense.
If it's true.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's true. Okay. Yeah. He probably can't, like Aaron Rodgers. God, I wish I didn't have to say his name again. Came back probably a little too early from his Achilles tendon surgery.
Oh, yeah.
And so he wasn't playing as well. He didn't have time to gel with everybody, et cetera, et cetera. So they ended up bringing in the rookie. Now, it just doesn't make sense to me, at least and I will also say this. And we're going to throw out there for those on the show that have watched Quarterback, the documentary that had him and Mariota and those guys.
And
it's coming back and it looks good. They got Burrow coming in. Joe Burrow's going to be on it. I forget who the other guys are, but Kirk Cousins. I think Kirk Cousins is again on it. And this could be, I don't know. I mean, what I saw of him on that show, this doesn't seem like something. But then again, I also didn't think he was going to get him fined $500,000 for opening his mouth. So, but would you, like, if you were in Kirk's position, would you want to step into that Browns mess, even if you had an unlimited check?
I know. I mean, at the end of the day, like, you're
We got
Clearly,
one
there's
wide
another.
receiver that's actually any good,
Mm.
and that's even kind of not quite sure.
Yeah,
Judy gets
which
the
one is
ball
that?
because he's the
Oh,
most
Judy. Oh, yeah.
competent.
Okay. I was gonna say Judy.
I
Yeah,
mean, Njoku, okay, you got a decent tight end.
decent run game, maybe if Chubb is
Chubb
back
isn't what he
healthy.
was,
No, you
and
have a
you don't have the
defense.
money to fix it.
No,
So you're going to be
no.
using draft kits.
And so, I mean, honestly, for me, I think they can work a little bit in the draft, but I just think going into that atmosphere, and maybe that's the reason why that he would go there. I mean, again, this is just speculation. We don't know if this is even a story, but if he were to go there, then maybe it changes the image. Then it's not looked at as Deshaun Watson in the massage parlors and all the women and all that. Then it's looked at as wholesome, nice, you know, with middle of the country, cornbread white guy. Like, yes, like that maybe an image change that they want to do. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't want to go there, but at this point, Kirk almost, I don't say he's as far down as like Rodgers, where he doesn't have that many
Hmm.
options. I think he can still play, but the last half of the season when they had to put in Penix, he didn't look good. And that might be because he came back too early. I don't know, but he did look good earlier in the year, and then he
Well,
really fell off a cliff.
I've mentioned this before that I've had 2 Achilles tendon surgeries,
Yeah, yep.
and I'm not an athlete. I was just like an amateur runner just because I was in track and field when I was younger. I like to just run and everything. And there are good days and bad days. And the amount of
Hmm.
strain that him and Aaron were putting on that tendon because of the way the mechanics of football and everything. Because when you're going backwards, you're like pressing more in like
Hmm.
this, which is going to stretch that tendon out. And I don't think a lot of people also realize like, so like this would be what I would call like your calf muscle here.
Yeah.
And so your Achilles comes from here and comes up and underneath that major calf muscle.
Oh wow.
And so, but there's another muscle that runs this way, part of your calf. So you have the meat part here. There's a tendon that runs down here, and that Achilles tendon matches comes in with that calf, that lower the tendon this way. So it
Hmm.
pulls. It's
Wow.
pulling on that.
Yeah.
So I can see with the amount of work and everything they're putting on that part of their body,
Hmm.
I can see where you would have setbacks and you would have
Hmm.
strains and sprains and things and ligaments that would just be like, I can't do this. And
Right.
so you'd be back and forth. Like he would be mobile and then he wouldn't be mobile. Like
Hmm.
Aaron popping that thing, I still can't watch that video because I don't know exactly what that feels, but I know probably really close to how it feels
Yeah. That. Oof.
because we found out at 45 years of age, my Achilles tendon was too short.
Oh.
And so what they did is they went in and went into my calf muscle, cut it so they could stretch it out. So that pop we saw, I was like, oh, like,
Oh.
yeah,
Mm.
it's strange what can happen and things like that. I was like, I ran track and field. I ran hurdles, and you're telling me one of my Achilles tendons was shorter than the other?
Right. Right.
Didn't
Wow.
know. No clue. And that also shows you what your body does to compensate
Exactly. Yeah.
for certain parts
Yeah.
of injuries. So
Yep.
I'm not surprised Kirk had a little bit of a backslide. I'm not surprised that Aaron wasn't playing 100%
Hmm.
these last year for the two of them because you're gonna go back and forth.
Oh yeah.
They're in their late 30s, early 40s.
Right. Right.
So
They aren't spring chickens.
hopefully, yeah, maybe they are trying to change the culture in Cleveland. I'm just not sure that that's a situation. I like I said in the beginning. I think this was some guy on the Cleveland or Atlanta beat
Yeah. Oh yeah.
got a tip that
Absolutely.
he was in town and wrote a story.
Yeah. Absolutely. He was probably just getting Chipotle.
Yeah,
But
but they
then you're like in Cleveland, which then is Ohio. He went to Michigan State. Michigan hates Ohio. Why else would he? Nah, I'm not going down that road. We're moving on, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, that is Michigan versus Ohio State.
Right.
And as somebody who has friends from Cleveland, that's not close enough to be considered Ohio State.
Well, there you go. And there it is. There it is. All right. Yo, we're moving on. Staying in the same conference and, matter of fact, in the same division, the Browns' rival, the Baltimore Ravens, their head coach, John Harbaugh, gets a 3-year extension with Baltimore. He will be there through 2028. Look, we've seen how well he's done. He's got a Super Bowl title, 185 and 115 over the last 17 seasons, 12 playoff berths, which is only second to Andy Reid with 14. They got to the divisional round of the playoffs. They were the number one seed a year ago. I mean, we know how great they've done, all the success they had from Flacco to Lamar and everything that they've done thus far. He's great. And I think this is warranted. I know our buddy Nate's pretty excited about this. So, what do you think? I mean, is I think in that in that division, you really want to lock down your guy, and I think this is a great move.
Yeah, I think I not getting an extension would have shocked me more because he has done very well with the Ravens. He's turned a team that was kind of in the middle of, had very good years, the Ed Reed, the Ray years, all of those, and then they had a little like middle of the road, and then he's brought them back to prominence again. Yeah. And I like that for that division because, I mean, honestly, I love the rivalry between them and Cleveland. It's like it's two Cleveland Brown teams. Okay, you just call yourselves the Ravens.
You're the same team. What are we talking about? You're the same team, right?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and it's they're a good team. They got a great quarterback who doesn't get as much credit as he should.
Exactly.
And Harbaugh has been able to bring players in and turn them into a champion. They're always competing. So go for it. Give him his money. Give him his bag, I think is the term.
Oh, yeah. Oh, exactly. And look, and I mean, just the fact that he was able to bring in Derrick Henry. I mean, you already have a team that the year before was the number one seed, and then you bring in Derrick Henry and just bolsters the team. The way he's able to, work with it. The defense is struggling, then the offense will be like super power. Like I love what he's able to do in that area and in that whole city. He just got them guys going between the Orioles and the Ravens. They had the team like electric. Both of them are playoff teams. So congrats to him. He did it's well deserved. Well deserved. So absolutely. And staying in the AFC, we're gonna move on. You mentioned it earlier. Former Texan J.J. Watt will be joining NFL on CBS. The crew calling the games. He'll be working with, I believe, Ian Eagle, Tina. So,
okay.
Yeah. So we'll see.
BC team, depending on the game.
Yeah. Exactly. So we'll see. I'll definitely be tuning in. But this is just another one of these former players that is now going on there, which can be very good. We've seen certain people, although we might be annoyed at something like Tony Romo, kind of whatever, indifferent about him.
Romo has some good insights.
That's what I'm saying. He knows what he's talking about. So, but there are other guys where you're just like, you just got it because you're a former player. You know what I mean? Right. So we'll see what JJ does. I hope he does well. I'm excited about this. We'll see.
I do too, because I mean, there's not a lot of ex-defensive players that are the color commentary or the play-by-play guys. It's mostly been offense. So he's going to bring a different perspective to it and be able to maybe explain some of the defensive packages and what they're doing and why they did what they did, work this way or didn't work that way. I think that's the thing. Like, defense is the unspoken hero or whatever of a lot of teams.
Absolutely.
Because people want to see the scores. They want to see the one-handed catches. They want to see the three guys jump up, one guy comes down with the ball kind of stuff. They want to see the quarterback, or we used to be able to see the quarterback throw the Hail Mary pass as he's getting hit in the face and going down to the ground and the guy catching the ball and winning the Super Bowl. That kind of stuff.
Hey, the offense wins games, defense wins championships. We absolutely
Yep,
know. And if you look at the
exactly.
Super
So,
Bowl, you saw what that defense did to your favorite quarterback, Mr. Mahomes, or Kermit, as you like to call him. Misador, shout out to you watching in the comments. He said, "Yeah, JJ should be a solid commentator, and Romo just tries to be cute." Hey, it is what it is. I honestly would kind of like JJ to maybe do something with like a Pat McAfee and do something like the Manning brothers do, like the Manning cast on Mondays. I
oh,
think
could you see the three
that would
of
be
them
cool.
together?
Right, right. See, that would be hilarious. That would be something I think people, and I think if we're going more towards the kind of this platform, the podcast, more, like watch the
Right.
game, but still like have a beer, if you will.
Yeah.
That I love that. I'd be all for
Yeah,
that.
I do too. Now, the thing is I don't think the Manning brothers humor works in a like just an oral platform. You
No.
have to see their
Yes.
interactions with each
Yes.
other. The
Yes.
Kelsey brothers just go at each other and give each other shit
Yep.
and
Yep.
just keep picking. So that kind of works in the podcast thing. So I really hope they don't go into well, Jason's doing commentary on the
Yeah.
sidelines and some of that, but I don't see. I think they're better in on the podcast thing.
Yeah.
So I hope they
Yeah.
don't, but you know what, they're going to do what they want to do. They've got the money, they've got the prestige, they've got the star power that they can do it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I here's the funny thing. I love watching the snippets of the Peyton of the Mannings. I
Yeah.
can't watch a whole game of them. They distract me from the game.
I feel the same way. Like I can watch little clips and things after the fact, but for me with the game, I'd rather keep it mute, or
Yeah,
I want to actually listen to the guys that's like, okay, he's had this many yards in the last couple of weeks. Like I'm listening to the stats and the facts and all that too. So yeah,
yeah,
I'm with you on that. I'm
yeah.
with you. Oh me, oh my, and so shout out to JJ Watt. Moving on. Micah Parsons. We've talked about him. The Dallas Cowboys but he is potentially looking. Speaking of podcasts, Micah Parsons is trying to get paid. He wants an extension, and he wants it to be around the like 200 mil overall. And Tina, we know. I mean, this is not a surprise. He's coming up to that time where he has to get paid, but also let's look at all the people around him. Let's look at the Max Crosby that got 3 year, 106 million deal. The Miles Garrett 4 year, 160 million. Even Jamar Chase, we're talking about this non-quarterbacks, 4 year, 161. So he's next in line. If we're going back to just that position, he's next in line to get his money. And I talked to Delilah and Kate and a couple people about this. I want, obviously, as a Washington fan, yes, get rid of him. That's fine. You can't pay him. Move on. That's fine. Great. Hey, come here. Come to Washington. That's good.
Send them to the AFC. Someone in the
Right,
AFC
anywhere.
take him.
Right. But as somebody that's unbiasedly and looking at the game, I mean, honestly, I think you have to pay this guy. He is your guy, but you put yourself in a situation where you paid Dak, you paid CeeDee Lamb. What money do you have to try to pay this guy? And so it's kind of got them in a pickle. We know how Jerry is. What do you think he's going to get paid what he's looking for this offseason, or is he going to go somewhere else? What do you think?
I think they're going to have to, or he will go somewhere else. There's just no question about that.
Yeah.
He is the best guy on the field for the Cowboys.
Yep.
So, and Cowboy fans are Cowboy fans that even if he was gone, they'd still show up and sell out.
Hmm.
Now, Jerry being Jerry, I think he can work a contract in such a way. And that's the thing. That's the new thing in the current NFL and the way they're structuring these contracts is
Yeah.
Jerry is wealthy enough, not like Walmart money, but he is wealthy that he could structure the contract in such a way that it's more back-ended. It's
Right.
more in guarantee, more not in guarantees, but in incentives or
Yeah.
clauses that he would be paying personally, and
Yeah.
that would not count towards the cap.
Yep.
So I think it has to get done. I mean, Micah's kind of a lone island. Like their defense is okay, but it's not Micah okay. Like
Mm-mm.
I don't know. They just
They
keep
need
putting
him.
themselves in this problem that
Yep.
they pay Zach Dax, so then they can't pay anybody else, and they lose somebody.
Hmm.
Uh, Him, who will they lose because of that? Now I
Right.
can't name a Cowboy team that I could see
I can tell you I know they lost one of their other great defensive players, Demarcus Lawrence, and their great was it guard or center, Zach Martin. He retired.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah. So
But
to
didn't
your
they
point, like
resign a defensive guy? Didn't
I
I
think they
thought they
did.
there was a big part of their team. They did the guy on either defense or somebody they resigned. So they
Yeah,
kept him. But in keeping him, what's going to happen with Micah?
exactly.
Now, Micah may take the home team discount too.
Mm. You think he really did that? I
We didn't
mm.
who was it earlier that we didn't think, "Oh, Miles Garrett, I'm gone. I'm
Yeah.
gone."
But we've also know that Miles Garrett he came back because he was told that there's going to be a quarterback, some whether it's in a draft or he's there's going to be something positive, which lends to the Kirk Cousins story. Maybe no, I'm just
Good.
grasping at straws.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay. Did you ever watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Yes, yes.
The scene with the conspiracy that he has, like all
Right,
the
right, right.
pictures and
All the
everything,
street, right.
put it all together. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the show, but I saw that episode and I nearly pissed my pants because that is so true. Every time with conspiracy, it's like, well, it goes here and goes here and goes here
And
and goes here. Oh, okay.
Christopher
Well,
Cole
yeah,
says
if
right
he
there.
retired because they couldn't pay him, I would retire
So
too. And on that
mm,
note, did you? I'm
Dallas.
going to throw a ringer into this one.
Oh yeah.
Did you read the interview with Puka?
No, no, no. What
He says
happened?
he's going to retire when he's 30.
Really?
Yeah, he
Why?
does. He does not want to be the old man on the team limping along. He'll do what he can, and like if he hits like 30, 31, that age, so that way he can then retire, have a
Mm.
family, be able to be with his kids. That's the attitude these players need to have. Get your
Mm.
bag early,
Hmm.
and before
Exactly.
you start having injury
The
problems
decline.
and the
Go.
decline happens,
Well, and
get
that's
out.
why my one of my favorite stories is Robert Smith, the running back for the Minnesota Vikings. He gets into the league and he only stays in the league long enough to pay for his to go to medical school, and then he ends up becoming a doctor. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He didn't want to stay around. Samari Roll, I think, is another guy that played only long enough to make sure he had a nice little nest egg, and then went
Yep.
back to school, and now he's like a brain surgeon or something like that. So yeah. Yo, shout out to people who are watching. Brandon talking about, I think Rogers can't be worse than Brady. Misador said Brady is hot garbage. Oh,
I like
Anthony's
Brandon.
here. Right, right. He said JJ will be able to talk through defensive schemes and technique. And Misadori also agreed with. He's like kind of over the Manning cast. He said it kills his ADHD. Yeah, because it's all over the place, and I can watch it for a period of time, but it's like, all right, guys, I gotta
Yeah.
move on.
That is not
What's up,
as
Handy?
much as yeah. Hello, Dinklage. How you doing? uh, yeah, the Manning brothers. It's kind of like it's football, and they do have great insights
Hmm.
and stuff.
Hmm.
Like a couple of the ones where Manning's like, Peyton's like, that's not a foul.
Right, right.
Like,
Pull it out.
but it is more about them. And so I kind of consider them to be like that's the show that like you have 50 people over for the Super Bowl and not everybody's a huge football fan, so you need something that's entertaining for the
Exactly.
non-football people so they
Yep.
at least don't walk out before the halftime show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We
So
can't all watch the halftime show together again.
oh god.
That craziness after this year, and it's like, really, is this what we're really talking about? What's up,
It
Lewin?
goes forth. The next year, it could be something that they decide that there was too much heat this year, so they go to way over to the countryside, and then
Oh
it's
yeah.
going to be like you were just art. We can't. You can't win
No,
the
yeah.
halftime show.
No. You're not gonna be able to win.
It's
No.
just you can't win. So
Hey, it is what it is. All
yep.
right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we got one more thing. We're going to talk real quick about our draft possibilities, what we're looking at in our draft. But real quick, here's my guy Anton Benton, Awesome Artisans. Yeah, buddy, that's my buddy Anton Benton, based out of the Virginia Beach area, but he definitely travels up and down the East Coast and to the Midwest. Definitely check him out. He does great work. Oh, Anthony Handy said, worth it simply for the really. Hey, yep.
You were like and moved on.
Right.
It was a quick little like 1 second and
It's
moved
like,
on.
wait a minute. What? Oh man, yo, what is going on, people? That's Tina Winter. It's your boy Sean Spencer. This is Let's Talk Football. Breaking news. One more real quick thing we wanted to talk to you guys about. Team draft needs. The draft is literally a month away. I think, or yeah, a month away. A month from now, it will literally. I think it will be day 3 of the draft being on a Saturday. So hey, and tune in, ladies and gentlemen. I just had a meeting with my partner Janae Struther last night, and we this NFL draft, Let's Talk Football draft show is a go. We are gonna have us everybody from the Let's Talk Football community gonna get in there and try to host at some point. Talk about their draft picks. Talk about how excited they are, what they like about this time of the year, and X, Y, and Z. Definitely tune in to that. We will definitely be here. But before that, Tina, we got to talk about some of these draft needs that we have. We're both in the same situation. Great rookie quarterbacks, new coaches. They're building what they want and their likeness, their scheme, and everything like that. We've had that great first year. We know we're susceptible to this sophomore slump. We saw what happened with C.J. Stroud, but he still made the playoffs. They went 10-7. Tina, Bo Nix, Denver. What do you guys, Sean Payton? What's your draft needs? How you looking?
What I think our number one need is a good offensive weapon, and I'm not sure if we can get that in the draft,
Hmm.
except for a running back. We
Yeah.
need a running back.
Oh
Estimate.
wait. Why do you need a running back? Did you let go of any running backs and send them to
I thought you
Dallas?
weren't going to talk about him anymore since he went to the dark side.
And Janae was so happy about that. She's like, "Oh yeah, we got Williams." I was like, "Oh yes, I know that." See this, Williams? All this is for you, and you're down with my enemy. This is
I just think he got injured at the wrong time and he wasn't
yeah,
gelling in Sean's system. So
yeah.
you kind of we had to let him go. But he did get picked up by the Cowboys.
Mm,
His contract is actually pretty heavily incentive laden. So if he does well with the Cowboys, he'll make some money. So good for him.
mm,
I
yeah,
liked him. I always liked him. I called him Bowling Ball was my nickname for him because he would just kind of like roll, like he'd hit something and go this way and then go back the
yep,
other way, kind of like
yep.
bowling ball spins and stuff. And he was knocking guys down as he's going. So I liked
Hmm.
him, but he's gone. McLaughlin is not an every down back. He's
Right.
a change of pace, more finesse. He actually did pretty well with picking up the pass
Mhm.
and having things thrown to him a little bit more, but he's different. He's a different kind of guy. And Estime also is not an every down back. He's
Yeah,
a bruiser. You want a yard, 2 yards, straight, go
we can
for
do
it
that.
kind of thing. So we need somebody. Of course, everybody's like, oh, well, if Genty falls, I'm like, Genty's not going to
Mhm.
freaking fall to us at 20. So we're not going to get him.
Yeah,
And I think Sean's.
we're
Oh, you
good.
were
You're
frozen
back. I'm
there
back.
for a
Yep.
little second.
So I was looking at you too. I was like, "Are you frozen? What happened?"
No,
But
no,
yeah.
no. Yeah, Genty's not going to fall. He's going to go pretty quickly. Whoever needs, even if you don't need a running back and you got a high pick, you might take him
Mhm.
because, as we know, drafts are made to back up what you currently have. You're not
Exactly.
your first round pick may not necessarily be for need. Your first round pick may be for the backup position.
Yep. Yep.
And there's quite a few running backs in this draft.
Mhm.
Um, the other position we really need is safety.
Hmm.
We need to develop a safety, is what we
Right.
need to do. PJ Locke seems to be okay, but he retires. A couple of other people retire. And we're back in the same situation that we were in, which is we don't have a safety. So um, there's a couple of safeties that people are talking about. One is from Georgia. So our Mr.
Georgia.
Handy, I'm sure, could tell me all about him.
He's about to chime in. Georgia.
Yeah.
What? You say Georgia? Somebody say Georgia?
He'll probably go early. There's
No.
another guy. I can't. His name is Nick, and I can't remember where he's from or anything. Because again, I'm not a college football fan. I like my NIU, but I'm not like into the whole. I wasn't raised in the SEC. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. College? Who pays attention to college? I don't.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
I don't know. But
But yeah, so those are the two that I see. The rest of it is backing people up. Like
yeah.
Dave Garrett Bowles, he got an extension a couple of years ago, so he's going to be there. But we're going to have to replace him in a couple of years.
Yeah.
McGlinchey, I think, has been doing well for us, but he's going to retire. We're going to have to replace him. So there's always going to be a need to pick up a linebacker, somebody on the offensive line,
Right.
that kind of stuff. We'll probably even pick up a couple of running backs, wide receivers and stuff. But to me,
What pick do you guys have?
20.
Oh, yeah. You're like us. We're just late in the draft, so we're not going to get anybody really good unless some story comes out about them where they drop. And then it's like, are we going to take a chance on that? So yeah.
In my honest opinion, I wouldn't have a problem with us trading back and getting like another pick in the second.
That's how I feel. Yep.
Yeah, because unless that running back, if the running back that Sean wants is not available anymore, I don't see a problem in trading back. But I'm hearing good things about O'Marion, and a lot of people are high on him for Denver and thinks he'll fit in that situation. So,
and
like
where did he go to college again?
Maybe we won't, because
right.
That didn't quite work out.
I am just as bad as Handy. I can be just as bad as Handy. I'm just shouting you out, Handy.
People were like, "Oh, we should take a tight end in the first round," and I'm like, "Absolutely not.
No,
not after Fan, not after a Waymanon, not after Dulcich.
No,
like no."
You want to lose it? Tell me you get a tight end. Yeah, no.
The likelihood of you getting a first round tight end that turns into Rob Gronkowski, Travis Kelce, Brett Bowers. I know his name is not Brett, but Bowers. Like that's just a 1 in a million shot. It's just really, it doesn't happen.
You don't get it. Yeah.
Tight ends are like cornerbacks. They take time to develop.
They got to be in the right system. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If you go from where a tight end is mostly a blocker and now you want him catching 20-yard catches, you gotta work with them. And that's I also think that's why the systems that have more pro type offenses, their players do better, which is why the SEC does very well.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
From
Handy's still
drunk.
listening. Yeah. Oh me. Yeah, no,
How about
and
you?
like yeah, we're in the same spot. We're in the same spot. We, honestly, the main positions for me, you talk about corner, something that
Mhm.
we've been here what 3 or 4 years ago where we drafted Emmanuel Ford, or maybe it was 2 years ago. And that didn't work 2 or 3 years ago. That didn't work out.
Mhm.
So but we that is something we're desperately in need of, a corner. Um and running back is also somewhere we're kind of looking at. A lot of people in house aren't huge fans of Brian Robinson. He had some fumbling issues last year. He hasn't gotten over 800 yards in his last, his years that he's been here. And mind you, the guy got shot in like his first year, in a carjacking incident and everything like that, and he's fought back from that. So I always have a soft spot for the guy, but it's not looking like that. We already brought in Eckler last year from the Chargers, so he's kind of, if he can stay healthy, he's in there. But it's looking like we might be in the market for running back, and obviously Amarion is one of the guys I'm thinking. But it's looking like if teams like you guys are interested in him, he's not going to be there by 29 where we are. So honestly, my thought is similar to yours. Like, let's trade back. Like, we only have 5 picks because of the fact that I think with the Lattimore trade, we had to give up a pick last year, and then
Mhm.
the Laramie Tunsil trade, we had to give up 2 or 3 picks this year. So I want us to trade back, get a couple more picks. I, wide receiver is somewhere where I'm kind of looking. I know we got Debo, but he's had injury issues. I love Terry, but after that, it's kind of like it's a drop off. So unless a
Dunking
certain
on my
family
McCaffrey boy.
unless a certain family would like to get one of their sons to play well. I'm just saying. Other than that, we might need some help at wide receiver. So that's another spot. But even then, I don't see anybody that, unless somebody drops, I don't know that I see somebody at 29 that I want to use up for wide receiver. So honestly, I think it's one of those, like, just like you were saying, like a depth or best available. If there's some great lineman or something that's still there, we can pick that up. But really, I kind of would want us to go back and just kind of, let's trade back. Let's get a couple more picks. Let's kind of figure out who it is we're trying to go after. Maybe we solidify our offensive line, our defensive line. We need help at edge, you know, um, secondary, like I said before. So, and even linebacker, because we got Wagner back, but he only got a 1 year deal, so he might be gone next year. So we're gonna need people to replace these guys. So I mean, that's where I feel we can do it. It feels better, and I know you can echo the sentiment that it feels so much better not having to be in the quarterback search. When you like, I
Mhm.
know that position is okay. I'm good right there. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to ask Candy later what he thinks of Malachi Starks from Georgia. Some
Oh, we
guys
love him.
picking him as a safety for the Broncos to pick. We have 7 picks in the draft. So we
Oh,
got a
nice.
little I don't want us throwing like 2 picks in order to move up or something, like giving
Right.
away our first round, because we did that when we were dealing with the Russell situation and all of that, and it
Hmm.
just it hurts. A
Yeah.
lot of people are like, "Oh, fine, we give up draft picks." It's like, no, those draft picks end up hurting you after a while. You give away
Exactly.
too many number one, first and second round picks, you start to, that hurts. You can't pick up a new guy. You're not even going to
Right.
have an option at the good guy in that situation. So
Right.
we did too much of that for a while, and it came to hurt us. And slowly, well, like you get new management, you get a new coach in there, you start like you got to change the culture is literally what it comes down to.
Absolute. Yes.
And I'm
Yes.
hoping, like with your team, I think with mine, with the culture that they've changed in the locker room, that we can somewhat avoid the sophomore slump. You can't
Yeah.
fully avoid a sophomore slump, because now teams know how your quarterback plays, they know how my
Hmm.
quarterback plays. They know how our receivers go, what our running backs do. So then they have a full season to look at and they can make changes. Well, that's up to our coaches to then get these guys to go to the next level. Like it's
Right.
not just what you did last year now. You can't just throw a bomb down and hope that the guy catches it. You have to you're going to have to learn. Do you stay in the pocket? Do we do more run options? What do we do? So, yeah, it's kind of weird because we're not our teams. If we get guys, we get guys. We're not
Yeah.
if we don't pick anybody else up in our offense, I think it will be harder for us in my division
Mhm.
because of the offensive weapons that the other teams
Yeah.
have.
Oh yeah.
So you've got to be able, I mean, defenses can help you win games, but as we showed with the Chiefs and also did you see the stat where it said if you changed every game the Chiefs won by one score, they would have been 5-11.
Right. Exactly.
So you got to be able to score.
Yeah.
You have
Yep.
to keep up. Yep. Oh, okay. And that what Handy's saying right there about Starks is true of a lot of cornerbacks and safeties
Right.
when they come into the
Right.
league. It's just a different type of system. You're not playing against the top 15 in the country. No, you're playing against the top 1% of the country.
Tough one. Everybody's a All-American or a star. Everybody is good.
Everybody was that number one receiver on that
Mhm.
team that you used to play against.
Yeah.
So,
But like you said, I mean, you knew you were going to get a guy that's you're going to develop. So if he already is that good, and Handy, I think you can agree with me. He's one of the premier safeties in the league, and I mean to be looked at to be picked at 20th, obviously, but he's got championship pedigree, being with those guys at Georgia over the last couple of years. And I mean, honestly, I think this will be a great pickup for you guys. If we were in the market for a safety, I don't know that. I mean, if he was there, I'll put it to you like this: we're not necessarily in the market for a safety, but if he was there, I would take him.
yeah, there's certain
He's that
guys
good.
that just if they come along, you got to take them in that position, no
Absolutely.
matter whether it's a need
Absolutely.
or not,
Yeah.
because you have to. And I'm seeing they're saying there's not a lot of really good cornerbacks in this draft.
Yeah.
And so, or safeties, there's a few handful, but
Right.
the rest of them are going to be projects that you're
Right.
going to have to take a couple of years to get through. And I will say this about Mr. Luke. You knew he was going to be a project from the beginning.
Oh yeah.
That's
Oh yeah.
why
Oh no, we
he
knew
got
that.
drafted when he got drafted.
That. We knew
He
that.
wasn't blowing things up at Duke and
Right.
doing things like his brother
It's
was
just
doing.
that Tina, I work with somebody that has been telling me for years about this McCaffrey family and how amazing they are, and the
And they
father
are.
is great,
And
and the
now the
mother
brother's
is
going and
great.
having foreign surgeries. So
And
he
what
can
is he
continue
doing?
his
Come
career.
on.
That's
Oh man,
always
no,
the way that it is. You get the anointed ones. One works
yeah,
out. The rest of them are like,
right. It's like, oh man, we live in his shadow. I mean, look, we'll see.
we'll see
Hopefully,
what happens with Archie. Archie's another one.
that's when that guy comes out of college. Oh my goodness, the attention
He's
around
either going to
him.
be amazing or fall flat on his face. There's no other way considering how much he has been pumped up and
I feel
everyone
for him.
talks about him and
Right.
everything.
I mean, I feel for a guy like that, man. He's already been crowned. He's already been deemed the next guy. I know guys that were talking about him in high school, like, oh, he should be picked this round in the draft, yada yada. I'm like, dude, let the man play. Let him just relax. Like all of this that you're putting on him already, that's rough, man. Now he has upper hand because obviously the family, 3 NFL quarterbacks in his family, and his dad was actually really good too,
Mhm.
as a wide receiver, I believe. But
Yeah.
it's still so much pressure. So much pressure.
Hopefully he doesn't do a Manziel.
No. Ugh.
That's
That would
another
be rough.
documentary. If you guys haven't watched the one on Johnny Manziel that he
Yes.
did a couple of years ago that came out during COVID, really, I mean, he owns up that a lot of the issues were his fault, but
Yeah.
it was you got to do the
Football.
work. You
Yeah.
just got to do the work.
Johnny Football. That guy. That guy. Oh me, oh my, absolutely. Yo, so look, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you guys sitting here with us on this Saturday morning, midday slash early
Yeah,
afternoon
12:30
ish. Yeah,
noon.
yeah. Oh yeah, Chicago time. I'm sitting here looking and I'm like, man, it's almost what 2 o'clock over here. But yeah, Virginia, East Coast on the
Yep.
east side. So hey, for my co-host, my lovely co-host, Miss Tina Winter. Oh, wait a minute. Handy Sarkeesian done good things at Texas though, and they're playing the same conference schedule this coming season, so he's got a leg up in his non-conference games that might bite Arch. I look, I want to know what happens when Arch either comes to Athens or Georgia goes to play Arch. I want to hear Handy on that day talk about that because these mm, mm, can't wait for next
Mhm.
season. Yeah, buddy. But look, for my lovely co-host, Miss Tina Winter, it is your boy Sean Spencer. We will see you next week. Tune in. Let's talk football. The Blitz, college football update, Washington Football Weekly. All those good things are coming up. Oh, don't worry. Oh, we won't. We won't, my friend. Um, so definitely tune into that and look forward to the Let's Talk Football draft show. That will be here in 1 month, ladies and gentlemen. Countdown. It's going to be good stuff. We're heading out. We'll see you next time. Peace, people.
Washington had no hesitation in this offseason. They hired Bob Myers, a special consultant.
They're taking advantage of the fact that players and celebrities
Republic.
always